This is a super simple project. You just fold your fabric, draw simple lines, and stitch it up on your home sewing machine. I'll show you step by step on how you can achieve professional looking finish to make this really cute bolero. It's a perfect layering piece for the fall. Hi, it's Sachi. I got about 2 yards of this 58-inch wide knit fabric. I folded the fabric in lengthwise and draped it over myself. I adjusted the fabric so the edge of the fabric is at my wrist, then I marked the fabric at the other wrist. You can make this length shorter for short sleeve boleros. Mine came out to be 60 inches for long sleeve bolero. I cut at the 60-inch mark. The fabric is still folded in half lengthwise. Now I'm going to cut the fabric in half lengthwise to get a rectangle which is 29 inches by 60 inches. I think I'm just going to cut along this line. Here is the fold, and here is the fold. Measure 10 inches for the sleeve hem. Measure 10 inches or 25 centimeters for the sleeve hem. And from the fold, measure about 8 inches or 20 centimeters. And then connect these points. Measure 2 inches or about 5 centimeters for the neckline and then connect with this point. And then this is going to be the front, so you can leave it straight like this or you can give some shaping. I'm going to measure about 2 inches from this midpoint and draw a curved line. Now cut all 4 layers on this line. Now I am trying it on. This is cute like this too, but I think I want to narrow the sleeve hem, probably like this. So I'm going to redraw the underarm seam to make it a little bit narrower. So I cut these rectangles. They are 7 inches by 10 inches. It's going to be the hem of the sleeve. This is a fold and this is going to be attached to the sleeve. So this is a 10-inch edge. I'm going to fold this like this with right sides together, and I'm going to sew this edge with 1/2 inch seam allowance using tiny zigzag stitch. To attach the cuff to the sleeve, I'm going to align the seam of the cuff with the underarm seam. But when I do this, there is a lot of bulk here, so I want to trim a little bit of seam allowance to reduce bulk. I want to leave different width here so that the edges are not aligning. Maybe I cut this too much. Be careful not to cut too much, but what I'm trying to do is to have a shortest seam allowance here, middle length when attached to the underarm seam. This is the longest seam allowance and the middle length and the shortest seam allowance, so that the edges are not in the same place. Then I'm going to stretch the cuff to fit the sleeve. I'm going to clip the other side of the underarm seam first. Then I want to distribute the rest of the cuff evenly. Something like this. Now I'm going to sew here. As I sew, I'm going to stretch the cuff to fit the sleeve. Now I'm going to zigzag with wide zigzag stitch all these seam allowances together to finish the edges. So the last thing to do is to finish the front neckline and the back hem. To me, the easiest way to finish the edges of knit fabric is to roll twice and zigzag stitch over it, but sometimes the zigzag stitch stretches the hem. It's a little tricky to zigzag the edges of the rolled hem on the knit fabric. To prevent the stretching, I usually use this Japanese basting thread. I think this is actually easier than pinning, and it also acts as stabilizer and it prevents the fabric from stretching. At this inner corner where the back neck and the front neck meet, skip the corner and roll the back neck first, and then let everything fall in place. At the corner, the roll becomes a little bit narrow, but that's okay. This still came out a little bit wavy, but it should iron out nicely. And finally, I'm going to close this gap here, so this little bit to secure this corner, and the same thing on the other side too. This is a very quick project. I think it came out really cute. I hope you give it a try, and thank you so much for watching.